Welcome to Family Basics 101. I'm Dr. Bruce McClure, the local minister at the Prince George's Church of Christ, located at 7800 Central Avenue in Landover, Maryland. Throughout the week, we've looked at a topic that deals with planning. And one of the things that we've tried to share throughout the week is sometimes in planning, we do not leave room for the unexpected. And again, this whole lesson series stemmed from a situation that took place on Monday with me personally. I had my daily plans already mapped out. And then within a matter of minutes, I had to make a split-second decision. Do I alter those plans or do I dig my heels in and say, no, these are my plans for the day and they cannot be altered? And yet those were some very serious reasons for the alteration of the plans. One of my sons needed to receive oral surgery. One of my other sons was flying in from an out-of-town trip. And I had to make an on-the-fly decision. What do I do? And what I decided to do is to take a step back and then just kind of triage life and make a good decision based on the need, based on urgency, and based on how do I prioritize life for myself, and modified everything. And at the end of the day, all went well. So we wanted to make sure everyone understood the importance of leaving room for the unexpected as we plan our lives and as we map out, honestly, our own personal futures. Because sometimes in the process of doing that, we might get so caught up in our own agendas that we fail to realize that life is bigger than us personally. So planning must have thought. And we talked about that on Tuesday from Proverbs 21, verse 5. The plans of the diligent lead surely to plenty, but those of everyone who is hasty surely to poverty. So we wanted to make sure that you were clear that we're not saying planning is not important. Planning is very important, but we must think through the plans, and we must always understand that plans can be changed. All plans aren't necessarily good plans. And we talked about this on yesterday. Not all plans are the best plans. Many, they're much abounding, they're great, they're strong, there are things that have grown, there are things that are captain. The devices, our minds are constantly in motion. And we're constantly allowing things to come in, and we're saying, oh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So there are many plans, many thoughts, many inventions that goes through the mind. But the Lord's counsel must be factored into the plans that we make. And sometimes we can be moving so fast that we do not factor in the Lord's counsel, but at the end of the journey, it is the Lord's counsel that's going to stand at the end of the day. So today, I want us to spend our time together talking about spiritual filters and planning. Since the Lord's will is going to prevail, let's talk today about how important having a spiritual filter in our plans really can be. In Proverbs 15, verse number 22, without counsel, plans go awry. but in the multitude, meaning in the greatness, in the excellent, in the sage, in the long journey of counselors, they are established. Now, I'll come back to that definition in just a minute. Without counsel, what is counsel? Counsel is defined as the spiritual foundation that is set, that is fixed, is proven far beyond the knowledge of the individual seeking to venture into a specific realm. My thoughts and my knowledge base is only a drop of sand in the wisdom of God. So counsel must be defined as the spiritual foundation that is fixed and is proven far beyond the knowledge of the individual like myself who's seeking to venture into a specific realm. And without that counsel, plans go awry. Well, what are the plans? Plans are the intentions that have been invented in our mind, that have been devised in our thinking, how we have thought inside our imagination. It's like imaging. So I'm imagining within the individual, this is what I would like to see as the outcome. This is how I would like to see this plan unfold. But I may have not yet sought the counsel of one who can see beyond what I can see. And whenever we fail to seek out God's counsel or wise counsel, Solomon said, the plans go awry. Well, what does awry mean? Awry is from a verb para, and it means the plans take a direction without consulting you toward defeat. The plans take off in a direction that is totally opposite of your plans or my plans. So awry means the plans move in a disappointing way. It moves us in a frustrating manner. It takes us into a falling apart, dissolving, dividing, violating the boundaries of social, spiritual, and relational discourse. When that thing goes awry, an illustration that I like to use is imagine a balloon that is filled with helium or just regular air, and you let the balloon go from where you've got it tied. And have you ever noticed when a balloon is let go, it does not have a specific route that it goes, it just goes. And it can go real fast, it can go up, it can go sideways. That's awry. It takes a direction that is headed toward defeat. Well, why does that happen? Without counsel. Without counsel, things are going to fall apart. Well, the text also says, but in the multitude. Sometimes people say, well, I've got to have 10 different people. That's not really what multitude means. Multitude is in the greatness of the counsel you seek, the excellence of the counsel you seek, the sage, the gray hair, the wisdom, the long journey of the one whom you are seeking counsel for. Can it be multiple people? Absolutely. But if you can find one person who has a track record, a Bible record, a God-centered record of greatness, of excellence. And they've traveled that journey with consistency and with proven results. The text says, but in the multitude of counselors, they are established. Well, what is established? The plans of the individual. Established indicates that plans arise and become powerful with the capacity to stand with endurance and to be fulfilled because they have been filtered through excellence. They've been filtered through greatness. They've been filtered through wisdom, one who has been on the journey and the one who has a track record of success on the journey. Now, also contained in that multitude can be people who have failed. Sometimes we need to listen to people who have not been successful because they can provide us insight about where we're headed, because we're headed exactly where they ended up, in defeat and falling apart. And sometimes there's a resistance to listening to people who've been in that crowd. And they may know what they're talking about. Without counsel, plans go awry. But in the multitude or in the greatness, the excellence, the sage, the long journey of counselors, they are established. Sometimes we may need to listen to a person who turns out to be a pauper. Sometimes we may need to listen to a person who has been in failed relationship after failed relationship. Maybe we need to listen to people who have been in the world of work and they could not keep a job, especially if those individuals are willing to say to us, young man, young lady, if you continue down the road you're headed with the plans and the spirit that you presently have, you're going to end up just like me. You see, that's good counsel. And we should learn to listen to good counsel from people who've already traveled on the road that we're headed. Come back on tomorrow and we'll finish up the series with this topic in mind. Plans of chaos are known by heaven. There are people who have plans, and their plans are from inception to implementation, all chaotic. There are people who just have chaos on their mind, but God knows about those plans. Come back tomorrow and we'll discuss this final lesson. I hope to see you on tomorrow. If not, I look forward to seeing you in Bible school on Sunday morning at 9:00 a.m., followed by worship at 10:00 a.m., whether it's in person or whether it's through one of our electronic platforms. Be careful today. Congratulations, Godspeed to all of our military personnel that today has been set aside to recognize your services to this country. And we want you to know, whether you're active military or whether you're retired military, that we really, really, really want to thank you for making sacrifices to family. Military people make serious sacrifices to their families, to their children, their presence in their own local communities. And we just want you to know from the Prince George's Church of Christ how much we really appreciate you sacrificing family time, community time for our protection and for our safety. We'll see you back in class again tomorrow
God bless.
Sunday morning.
God
Don't
bless.
and don't skip class. God bless everybody.